Well, hello and welcome back. We are in an overarching project. We're walking through building an application, and it is a URL shortener to like bit.ly or owl.ly, some of those kinds of sites or those kinds of functionalities. And we built out our API, we've built our database, we've built a connection. Now, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to, and this little bit of change, initially we're going to build our web app that is essentially the redirector, because we're going to give them back a full URL. They're going to give us something, for example, this long thing. They're going to get this short thing. And then when they call this short thing, we want it to send them to this long thing, their original URL, much like you see. So in order to do so, we're going to build a Django application, a web application in Python. We're going to save that for another day. Instead, because this is so simple, we are actually going to do this in JavaScript. So we're going to look through today. Our focus is going to be redirecting a user within JavaScript, and then also making an API call within JavaScript. So this is going to be a really simple little script we're going to work on. Now I have it somewhere over here, redirect HTML. Now I went ahead and typed a lot of this stuff out because I've been playing around with it quite a bit. There are some things that we'll talk about separate in a different issue, talking about deploying out our API that I sort of ran through as I was testing it. Now what I do here, and this I think everybody probably knows if you're asking this question, you're going to start with your script tags. So this is a straight up HTML document. We're going to throw this on our local Apache server on a Mac. We start off, keep it real simple. We're going to start right into the script. So I'm going to set the default value to where we're going to go, developer.com. I'm just going to throw them somewhere. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the URL from the location itself. And we're going to see this in the console. Actually, we're going to do it like this. We'll do the URL called. And we're going to show that off. And so this is where this sort of key is. What we're going to do is we're basically say, hey, whatever you send us, we're going to peel off a couple variables. In this case, in particular, this would be, if we go back here, we would assume that we were sitting at like https short.srv. We want to peel off that number. Now it's going to be a little different because the way we're doing it here, we're not going to use a slash. We're going to actually we're going to assume there's a slash. We're going to put a question mark in front though, because just how we've set it up for this specific page. You can tweak it as needed. But what we need to do is we need to grab what did they send us? And we're going to do that through the window location. And then this is where, this is the meat of what we're going to talk about, is making that API call. So an API call in JavaScript, it provides this thing called XML HTTP request. And it is a well-used, commonly used approach to making calls. And so what we're going to do in our case is we're going to call our API. If you remember, we had it set up here at 127. Well, we had it set up differently, but if I go over here, I don't have Postman up, but I can do it over here. If I go to 127.90, what was that, 90.90? Where did I put that? Oh, over here. Yeah, 90.90. If I do the get, this is a Postman window within Visual Studio Code, by the way, which didn't mention it in the Postman thing, but if you want to, it's very easy. You can go into, I believe that's it, yeah, extensions. And if you go look up Postman, you will see that they have Postman stuff so that you can actually go in and, again, one of those things that's pretty useful for building out their API and testing it. Visual Studio Code does a lot of that. And this would be as if I was in Postman, so I can see my calls, all that good stuff. Not to get too far afield from that. So let's, if I can click on that, there we go. Then if we do a get, we sent the short name. Here, it doesn't find it, but if we give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's the one we have that does work, then it's going to send us back this URL. So that's what we want to do here. This is our our API call. So this would be the API server and port, and then this is the endpoint, shorten, and then URL, which you can see here. Same thing. That's our API endpoint. And so we come over here, we're going to make that call, and what we're going to do is we're just going to tack on this URL that we have. Now there are other ways we could do this, but it's just easier to do it this way. So we're going to tack that in, and actually what we can do, we'll do it like this for now. And then all you have to do, so you're going to say open it, which says, hey, do I have is basically gets a connection to the server, and then send actually sends the message. So open doesn't do anything by itself as far as like calling the API, but send does. And then what we're going to need to do is within that request, we want to basically look for what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to do a console log the request, and then we're just going to sit around and wait, because when this comes in, we're going to say, hey, and this is this is when the call comes in, when it actually gets result back. We're going to say, hey, when you get the result back, go ahead and just show what the response is, essentially, the request is. And then if the status is equal to 200, I got an extra one in there, then we're going to do a JSON.parse. So we're going to turn this thing, which is JSON. So we're going to parse that thing out, the responses, which you can see over here. See, we have that. This is that response. So we're going to parse this thing out. And that's going to allow us to grab the data, which is the actual URL. See, data is the URL. Got that. And then our new URL is going to be that. And then what we're going to end up doing is we're going to redirect. And we'll cover that in just a minute. But first, let's look at what this is going to do. If we get an error, we'll get the status text. So it's basically, hey, if we don't get a 200, then we're going to kick out an error. So we can take this HTML, and we can put it out in our local, basically put it on a web server just about anywhere. And so we're going to do that. We've got running local on this Mac. We've got one. And, by the way, after that, I just have this little page. And I could do some more with it, but I'm not gonna. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. We're gonna do just a paragraph. Let's do this. Which is gonna be really simple. And this is gonna be the result. Let's do response. And that's gonna be. We'll do this. We'll do var response. Whoops. And var status. I don't know that we're going to be able to do this, but let's see what happens. So if we do that, if I do that, I'll do status equals request.status and response equals request.status text. Let's say we'll say response. I don't know that that'll always give us something, but forget it. I don't want to do that because I don't want to. That's going to be too much of a pain. It's easier to look at the console log, so let's just do that. I don't want to go through set all those values up. Okay, so besides, that would mess this up. So over here I've got this, and we're going to look in our console here, which I'm going to have to. So if I come in here and I give it, let's give it, let's just give it 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, I have to make sure that it is http:// // There we go. Okay, so I don't know if I can I pull this out into something a little bigger? Yeah, okay, so here's the log. So the first thing it does, it comes through, it says, hey, console log. Oh, I don't have the URL correct. Let's do this. So I'm going to copy redirect index.html. This is just to make it really easy. I'm going to copy that over to my my local server. And then, oh wait, I want to run it here. I think it's going to be the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So now, if I look, okay. So here in the log, we come in the URL that was called here is what was sent. And then it's going to go in and here's the request that went through. We have that here. We log the request. And then we come through here and we didn't get an error. So we got this one. So let's call this. This is going to be data returned. And if we do that, now let's try it. Just because. There, now it's going to give us data returned. And you can see it here. Didn't find the link because we didn't give it a useful ID. But if we come over here and do the same thing, oh, I did have that somewhere. Oh, I see. Now if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then it's going to give us our actual link. And we will be able to confirm that. So here we call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it gives us this longer link, which if we click on it, it's going to go open up this page on our website. So we're almost there. So now what we want to do, instead of doing this thing, we want to come in here and we'll leave the redirecting. Hopefully they don't even see it. But now this is a very simple thing in JavaScript. We just want to redirect. So we're going to do a window location replace with that new URL, which is this thing. So now if I call it, with the correct one, Oh, and by the way, if I call it the wrong one, it's going to do the new URL, which is going to take me just straight to developreneur.com. So let's go look at those two examples again. I have to copy this over now. And now if I call it with the right one, then it is not doing. Did I forget to return it? Let's see. New URL equals that. That's equals that. Let me look. I bet it's not. Let's do a new private window just to make sure. And it's not doing my redirect. Let's see. What did I miss? Oh, let's do this. Oh, I bet it's coming through too quick. So once I get it, then I want to do it like this. That will probably do it for me. So if I do this, that was something I didn't run into earlier. So now I go to that guy and run. There we go. So now it's coming to that human-based systems. If I go back and do http://localhost 4321, so it's a wrong one, then, oops, what did I do? Okay, that one worked. Why did I not get it? Oh, I see. So if it comes here, there we go. That's it. My mistake. Because then I need to do... Oh, yeah, I can do it this way. So I ran into my little race condition. So now if I do the same thing, what I want, I want to be able to type in that right. So if I do, if I do http // localhost 4321. Oh, interesting. It doesn't like that. So let's see if it's if I go to console, is it kicking that out? Oh, no, it is trying to get to somewhere. Why is it having issues with that? I'm going to location replace. Let's see. Oh, if it's not, that's a problem. It's not the right one. So I need that to be, that's what I need, is I need to make sure that that is a 200 and, there we go. So if the URL not equal to link not found, then we can redirect. Oh, let's do this. So if it's not linked not found, then it's going to go ahead and reset it. Otherwise, it's going to go ahead and run it. Am I in the right place? Yeah, that's redirect. So if I go here, if I go over here, copy this thing out. Now, if I do it, so if I go // where am I at? Localhost. I spelled it right. Okay. 4321. Now, oh, interesting. Let's see. This will be an interesting thing that we've run into. So if I do http host 4321 not found. So if I come here, let's do this. Console.log. New URL. So that'll be the last thing that we see. So let's go over here. Update. Come here. Oh. So now if we do http / localhost 4321, let's see, what does it tell us? So it's going to say here that it was, oh, data returned, link not found, right? Okay, oh, that's right, that's the API. So this is link not found. Why is it not found? Oh, it's not new URL. It's if dadgummit, that's the problem. And that's result. Data, this is why you have to pay attention. So if result, I got to check the result is equal to that. Then we go through it and then we do this. Okay. Now I need to take that and copy it out. Whoop. And go here. And now, if we go to that one, now it's going to send us there. Send us home page. If we go to localhost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we go here. And we don't need to do the redirecting. We can do other stuff with that, but we're going to go ahead. So we could just leave it like this, but we'll do that just because that's probably the nice thing to do. We could probably put a nice little advertisement even there or something like that, or even a little link that says, hey, if it doesn't work, click on this to let me know. That is calling an API, doing something with the data. As we've seen, we've got, and that's based on, we're going to parse that out because it comes back in this this JSON. So we're going to parse it out. We're going to pull out the value that we want, and we're going to do something with it. In this case, we redirect them to the new URL. So now we have something that we can actually place on a server. And when they call that, theoretically, they could do it like shortname.com. If they go to that site, make that call with that ID, we should be able to peel that off. Now, we've changed this around a little bit, but this is our starting point. And this is the key, is that it's actually really easy to make calls within JavaScript. Now, I can do other stuff. I could do something actually far more complicated, and I'll show you one real quick. Like if I wanted to do, let's do source equals blah, blah. And then let's do this. Let's do P ID equals source. We could come down here. Don't want to do that. Oh, well, what we can do, we can pull an entire page doing this. So if I do the same thing, let me just do this. Let me open. No, because it's going to be a complicated kind of thing. What you can do is this request.open can call anything. So if I can take this, I could actually call a website and I could actually display a page within it, because it's whatever we are peeling out here. It's whatever comes from that response. So we're making the API call, but we could just as easily, just as we can make this API call through a web page. So if I do the same thing and I make that call 654321, then I get this back. So note, I'm getting JSON data back. I don't have to actually JSON parse it. I could actually just try to work with it directly. So if I get HTML like I do with any browser page, I could actually do that. So I could do this for things like scraping data out of a request and things of that nature. It goes a little bit beyond what we can do, but I wanted to get to the basics of making calls from JavaScript. It's really simple. You want to use the here, that XML HTTP request, open it, send it, and then on load is where you're going to actually do something. Because that means that, hey, once I've got my result back, then I'm going to do something with it. And basically it's from the, right here, it's from the response. So whatever comes back, this is the response. If it's HTML, it'll be in the response. And then you can wheel and deal with it and do what you need. Okay, thanks a lot for your time, and hope you come back next time. We will have some more to go over, and we'll just keep plodding our way through this thing. Next one depends on what your order is. So for now, go out there, have some fun with your API, and we will catch you next time.
Well, hello, this is Rob with Developreneur, also known as Building Better Developers. Wanted to announce that we have school.developreneur.com. Feel free to check it out if you like any of this information, any of the content that we've sent, and you would like to see more. You can come out, you can enroll for free. We have free courses. We've got places for you to get better at just learning a technology, our how-tos. You can work on your business skills. We can help you with becoming a better developer, as in coding and things like that. A lot of the stuff you've seen on YouTube, we also have out at school.developreneur. We just have it in a little more of a educational format and a way for you to track your progress as you move forward becoming a better developer.